Aloha Nerd And Geeks, I'm Garrick, this is Van.
Hi.
Welcome to our first impression review of wonderful tabletop games. And today we are talking about Photosynthesis, a very eco-friendly, strategic game.
Eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly.
Your trees trying to kill each other.
That would be eco-hostile, I would assume, right?
They're not actually alive. You play the trees.
You play the trees. You play the gods of nature, I guess.
Competing gods of nature.
The competing gods of nature, that's for
see
sure.
who can get to better soil.
Yeah, better soil. Mm-hmm. You taught me the game once. Could you go over a little bit of how it's played?
Sure. So in this game, you play trees and you build trees, and every turn the sun shines down on you, and you photosynthesize the light into light points. You use those light points to gain seeds and build them and turn them into trees and make them bigger and bigger until their life cycle ends, or I like to call it them exploding. But you gain points by having their life cycle end, and we go through 3 complete rounds of that, 3 revolutions of the sun, and whoever has the most points at the end wins.
Correct. So the sun kind of represents the incoming points, right? So any kind of tree that casts a shadow reduces the points that one could get.
Right.
So the advantage of having a taller tree behind a smaller tree is that it casts a shadow.
Right.
How big does a shadow cast?
So there are small trees, medium trees, and large trees. This is a medium tree, large tree, and small trees. So the small ones will cast 1, the medium ones will cast 2, and the large ones will cast 3. So you don't want to be behind a large tree, but you want large trees to be behind smaller trees.
Right.
So they still gain light.
Excellent. And how do you get your trees out in the first place? I noticed that we have seeds that we can use the light to kind of buy to produce them.
Yeah, everything is done with light points. So you gain a certain amount of light points per turn, which can be saved from turn to turn. But you can buy different types of seeds, or your seeds, and you can also buy different types of trees, the levels 1, 2, and 3. And from there, when you have them in your supply, you can grow them. So they grow from a seed to a level 1 tree, level 2, level 3, and then into points.
Excellent. So this is a strategic game.
Very strategic.
Very strategic game. And when one plays this game, how are you thinking about moving the pieces? What are you trying to do to best capture or go for the win, really? Is it about how many trees you can get out, or the position of where you put the sun, where it casts?
Those are all different types of strategies that you can use in this game. What you're trying to do is get the most trees to the biggest height. You only have 2 of those big trees, so you have to kind of strategize when you're going to use them and where you're going to use them. And the best soil is in the middle of the board. The outside soil doesn't really have a whole lot of grass, so they get more points by being in the middle because that's the most fertile place to
And
be.
is this where those tokens over there with the point values come in?
Yeah, absolutely. So you get more points for being in the middle, but there's less of those points to go around, and you get less points for the outside. But it's also a viable strategy to try to grow on the outside if you can grow more trees that way.
Excellent. Great. To me, this game reminds me of a lot of those science-coordinated board games. Evolution was a good one. You were talking about Cytosis? Cytosis with basically it's a worker placement game where you're using cubes, meeples, that represent your cells in producing more cells or more stuff.
Yeah.
Very
Sciencey games.
Sciencey games, right? So this is kind of captures that, but because it is so strategic that you have to think of 2-3 moves ahead.
Oh, absolutely. This game looks like a kid-friendly game that you can play with your family, and it is.
Yeah.
But the couple of games that I played, the first couple were very, very cutthroat. I couldn't get my trees anywhere. People were blocking me. Because this is a Euro-style game, you can't do anything aggressive against other players.
Right.
So I can't plant a seed in the same place you have a seed, and we can't both grow trees together. So if somebody takes the spaces around you, you're stuck.
Right. There's a lot of perks to this game, and again, if you really like the strategic value of this, you probably play this game over and over and over to try them out, do different kind of things. For me, it's really about the theme. I've never heard of a game that uses the idea of growing trees and using the sunlight from trees to create something. So that's fascinating to me. Is there anything of value that you kind of say stands out from everything else?
It's a pretty unique game because of the way that the mechanism works with the rotating sun or with the revolving sun, and the shadow. The shadow is the thing that gets people a lot because you can't plan very well if you can't think in that way, where it goes in one direction and it covers everything behind it. So it's a tough thinky game.
And this is played over the course of what, 3 days?
3 rotations.
Three
yeah.
rotations.
3 rotations of the sun.
Nice. Great. So yeah, that's our first impression review, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Until then, play more games. Hey buddy, thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. Do what you can. Leave a comment below. Any kind of feedback is a good feedback to us. Also, check out the Armchair Adventurer. It's a great store where you can try board games and hopefully buy something from over here. Other than that, thank you for watching and get your game on.